Good afternoon. Shelley Gill, Associate Vice Chancellor for Enrollment Management, and thank you for joining us today. We are here because we know that this is a very extraordinary time for our students and for our prospective students coming in to really deal with the situation that we have at hand. We wanted to take an opportunity to let everyone know that if COVID-19 has affected your family's income, that there may be an opportunity for you to file for special circumstance so that you do have availability to possibly receive additional financial aid. It is a process, and that's why we wanted to have a session. It doesn't automatically happen, so we wanted to make sure that you understood how that happens. So today, joining me is Mr. Jeff Massey. He is our Director of Financial Aid, and he is going to walk us all through that process on what it takes to file for special circumstance to have your income adjusted from the time you filled out the FAFSA. So Jeff, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I do want everyone to know before I do that, please feel free to ask questions. You can ask questions on the Zoom session, and we'll get to those as we can. I'll be asking Jeff those, and if you have specific questions, because we don't want you to publicize your personal business, you're absolutely welcome to send that to financialaid@lsua.edu, and they will follow up with you for your special situation. So, Jeff?
Very good. Thank you all for joining us. We hope that we'll provide some good information for you today. And as Ms. Shelley said, these are extraordinary times. We know a lot of people, due to COVID, layoffs and furloughs and hour reductions and what have you, jobs lost, income's not what it was in 2018. Since things have reopened, we certainly hope that your jobs have come back. Pray that they come back. They haven't. The hours get back to what they were. But as you mentioned, there's a possible, we could possibly help do some sort of adjustment on your financial aid and income adjustment on your FAFSA if there has been a reduction of your income due to losing your job or losing some hours and a reduction of income. As you know, when you complete the FAFSA, it does request that you use your 2018 tax information. Of course, we know that that's been a year and a half ago since 2018 ended, so we know that those financial situations a lot of times are not the same. So in those situations, we do have an opportunity or a chance for students to request that we could re-review the income, the current income, and to see if it may help the student qualify for additional financial aid. This is not something new actually with COVID. We've always had the opportunity to do this, but we just kind of wanted to spotlight it for students because of the times that we're in. And we have a lot more students that are facing this situation or the parent situation where their income has reduced due to losing the job or being furloughed or hours being reduced. But I want to share the form real quick that we have you fill out. And let me get this and so hopefully you can see that. And what this is called is just the request for income reduction for the 2021 year. And again, we know that the FAFSA information was based off 2018 tax information. So again, as mentioned, we know a lot of times that situation changes. And so what happens is that if situation where your income has changed, was reduced since 2018, is that you can let us know, contact us, you can give us a call, which we have our number on the form there. We can give that out at the end, or email us, as Shelley had mentioned, the financialaid@lsua.edu, and we can make this form available for the student for them to fill out and their parents. But what we do is we give the students two options. Is you can actually, the first option on this is that when they complete the FAFSA, again, they use 2018 information, but we have students that have done it that for 2019 that their income was reduced, even if their situation maybe their job was spared or with the COVID, but maybe your 2019 income was less than 2018, or maybe be less than the 2020 income. You can do a request that we review the FAFSA and do an adjustment with the 2018 or the 2019 tax information. So we'll just let us know that you want to request this form. We can make it available on the student's portal. Student can get that and choose this option 1. And what we would do then is get a copy of the parents' 2019, if you're a dependent student, meaning you had to use your parents' information on your FAFSA. We get a copy of the parents' 2019 tax information, the schedules that come with those, and their W-2s or 1099s. And we have on the form what we need from the student and for the parents, and get those into us. And typically, we'll go in and approve those. If that income is, if we've got the paperwork and we see the income for 2019 is less, the tax information is less than the 2018, then we'll go in and again, we'll approve it. If it gets the student eligible for additional funds, as far as Pell Grant funds, then we'll award that for the student. The other option that we have, again, of course, again, we'll probably expect to see more of these, is the reduction of income for 2020. And so what we would do then, same form, but you would choose option 2. And then what we do with option 2 is that we're going to potentially do an adjustment on your FAFSA based off of the income that's been earned or received to date through 2020. And then we would do a projection of the income to be earned or received through now, from the time we receive the forms to the end of the year. And then if that makes the student eligible for any additional grant funds or any grant funds, then we would award those to the student. But you'd have to choose one or the other. We're not going to, we can't do one and then go back and try another one later on. So whichever one you think would be more beneficial. Again, if your income is less than 2020, potentially going to be less than 2020, then that's the one that you want to go with. But for 2020, what we would need, again, we have the information stated on the form, though if we can get a letter, if the job was lost, if possible, if we can get a letter from the employer just stating the date of separation, or if there was a change in wages or a furlough or something like that, just stating the dates that happened, and then a copy of all the latest check stubs with year-to-date earnings, and then if there's any like unemployment compensation that's received, just how much you've received and kind of when those are expected to end. I know I think a lot of those, that $600 a week, I think is expected to end this week or the last week or so. So, but any income that you received to date for 2020 or projected to receive, would just bring something to kind of verify that for us. And then we would go in and we could just make an adjustment on the FAFSA, reduce the income on there, submit those corrections to the Department of Ed. And then if that makes the student eligible for Pell Grant, then we can go in and make those awards for the student. It does take, a few weeks for that to get processed. So if you want to do that, you want to get on that pretty quick so we can get those processed hopefully in time before fall starts. Of course, you can do this at any time during the year. I mean, if you don't do this now, I mean, we can do it later on if need be, or if you want to do that. But totally your choice on that. But my view, the sooner the better on that. But too, if it's for a dependent student, we have to have the student's signature and the parent's signature. And then you can email those to us at financialaid@lsua.edu. And again, of course, to request the form, just shoot us an email there at financialaid@lsua.edu and just request that we place that form on the student's financial aid portal and that partner, and then we can go in and make those adjustments. And again, the sooner the better. But anyway, that's what we try to do, to try to help you if we can. That's what we're here for. It's kind of fast and furious. Is there have any questions on that or anything you'd like to bring up, Michelle or Dr. Bain or anybody?
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate what Jeff said, is that we're here to help you. We want you to be able to continue your education. So please reach out to us with what issues you're experiencing. We may not be able to solve the world's problems, but we'll try to look in to see if there's anything that we can do to help you. This is to be filled out in case there's been a change of income, either since the last time you applied, since you have to now apply for prior year, Sometimes those incomes change from year to year. And also, if something's happened in the last few months because of COVID-19 and maybe you or your parents are not able to work like you did, and so there is a change of income, we need to know about it. Let's fill this out. Let's see if you would qualify for additional financial aid. Just keep in mind that financial aid, there is a limit to how much you can get every year. So if you're already getting the max and your income has changed, you'll still be at that max and we won't be able to issue you additional financial aid. But we're happy to check that out for you to see and just to verify and make sure that you're getting everything that you would qualify for based on current circumstances, not 2 years ago circumstances, because we know things have changed. So feel free to send us questions. We haven't really got any questions yet. I guess that means we're doing a pretty good job with the session. The biggest thing is to do this early and complete it as soon as you can. Submit it to financial aid just in case there's additional documentation that's needed. There'll be a time to actually follow up with you to gather that information so you have it by the time you need to pay your fees. Just to remind everyone that our payment plan option did go live this week. So you can now set up a payment plan through your My LSUA. You can set that up, and right now it has the lowest down payment that you can make and more monthly payments. So if you see your financial aid should be there if it's already processed, so your balance should be reflected correctly, and you can set up a payment plan for what financial aid doesn't cover. So I just wanted to remind everybody about that as well.
And Michelle, I just had a question that was asked. Would this apply for foreign students as well? And this would not, if you're not eligible to apply for the FAFSA, if you're not an eligible non-citizen, this would not apply. You have to be an eligible non-citizen and eligible for the federal aid, the Title IV funds, Pell Grant student loans, to be able to do this. So I typically know this would not apply for foreign students.
If we have any international students on, just know that the good news is that we are now able to take foreign payments through Livewire through the payment plan option. So we're excited to be able to add that for you to kind of help as well.
Very good. And I just want to reiterate what Ms. Shelley said, is this, if it's a loss of income for any reason, it doesn't have to be related to COVID. It's just if your income was less from 2019 or 2020 to 2018, then it may be worth a shot doing to do this. If it's $500 or $600, then I would say probably not. But if you've got a decent decrease in the income, definitely consider doing this, and we'll try to see if we can help acquire more funds for you, for the student.
And if you have particular questions and you don't want to ask because they're very kind of personal, because it's people's money, so I get that, make sure you reach out to financial aid. You can email them at financialaid@lsua.edu, and they'll be more than happy to help you answer your questions for you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today, and don't forget to reach out to us. Let us try to help you, and let us know what issues you're experiencing, because we want to try to make things easier for you to come back to school in the fall. So, okay, thanks for joining us.